O'Neill, 2 L's. I serve the SGC under a General Hammond.
We're explorers. You see, we're from another planet.
The unstable vortex of a forming wormhole. Kawoosh.
Indeed.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Kawoosh podcast. I'm your host Arne and I'm joined as always by my co-host...
TV. Like one of these days you're gonna have to switch it up.
That you're the host and I'm the co-host.
No, I do.
Yeah, sure, you can take notes.
No, well I do take notes. On paper, because I'm from the 80s.
We both are.
Yes, I don't know why you are, the way
Anyway,
that you
what are we
This-
talking about today?
We are talking about the episode Politics, which is also known as the clip show episode of this season.
Although
Back-
it took a while before the first clip showed up.
Yeah, but like just for those who haven't seen any of the other episodes, like why are you starting here? Like in the 90s, you had this trend called the clip show episode, which basically recycled a lot of clips.
So yeah, the episode would be a lot cheaper to produce, to write, and yeah, you basically have a recap of your whole season before
Yeah.
you end it. Because most of the time it was one of the last episodes of a series.
Yeah, and then you were like, oh yeah, that happened 6 months ago on television. Instead of, now in Netflix, you can just press play and
And
not
watch
go to
all,
sleep
yeah.
and then suffer the consequences both mentally and physically. I am not okay.
She saw Squid Game, ladies and gentlemen. She
and
binged
others.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I needed like 4 business days.
But yeah, luckily Stargate is a lot lighter in tone.
Slightly, yeah, it is.
And this episode picks up right at the end of the previous one. Daniel Jackson is being treated for his wounds because he got shot on the shoulder in the last episode.
I have notes. That is some shoddy bandage work, dude. Like, what are you doing? First of all, you didn't even use disinfectant. He put his stump right on the wounds, and then he started wrapping it, like, all wrong. I was like, no, towards the heart, not away from the... I was yelling at this dude. Like, just somebody gave, like, an extra... Here, you'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And I'm just sitting here with my
hard can it
first
be?
aid
Yeah.
training going like, no! Don't! So, I was upset.
No, he tells them that he has this gated dress of a old world, and that's the one that's gonna attack Earth.
Well, he's all like, it's a parallel universe! And Jack goes, and you were there, and you were there, and there's no place like home, because Jack loves his Wizard of Oz references. Which is also an alternate universe movie.
True, yeah. And then Carter asks if there were differences in between the two worlds. And O'Neill can't get over the fact that they were engaged
I
in this
love it.
other reality.
He's like, yeah, this happened, and you and Carter were engaged, and Jack just keep coming back to it, like, wait, we were what? That's illegal, like... And not even a mention of Teal'c's hair. I was disappointed.
True. But then again, Daniel didn't confront Teal'c in the last episode, so he may
true.
not have seen it.
Yeah. True.
Anyway.
I love how Carter's all like, ooh, this is very sciencey and fun and this, like, differences. And Jack's just sitting there like, dude, like, engaged? What? Huh? What?
But there are also similarities, like the death of Ra, and then Hammond walks in. And he's followed closely by Samuels, another returning character. And he's now a lieutenant colonel. Back for the hearing with Senator Kinsey. Like, you heard about that last week, right? The hearing with Senator...
Either somebody is very bad at passing along memos in this, or he just sends it, on purpose.
It was a very clunky way
Yeah.
to tell the audience that there was a hearing and that they should have known about this.
Yeah, but they've been off-world. Like,
Yeah.
you could have sent an email. Wait, no.
But yeah,
Could they have?
there was electronic mail back then. Yeah, I think it was still called electronic mail back then. Anyway, Senator Kinsey has taken special interest in the program and he is not happy with their progress. And that's the point where we cut to credits.
Yes.
And then we get back. Hammond has O'Neill in his office and he wants to know if the president can't overrule this. But since the program is very expensive, the senator has looked into it and he's decided to cut all funding to the program. and they have no way to keep on the lights if they can't persuade him otherwise. And yeah, basically the president can't really do anything about it because it's the public that actually, or at least the senators who represent the people, that go over funding.
Yeah, and because it's a secret program, it's one senator that goes over it.
Exactly.
See, you take notes of the important stuff. Meanwhile, my notes is Jack is in his fancy suit. They put Teal'c in a bodysuit for some reason, and why is Carter in a skirt? Those are my notes. Like, also Daniel looks shoddy as he's just in his Stargate uniform, and you know he has suits. So what is he doing?
Yeah,
and he has this bandage. Like it's just like, is he trying to make a point?
I guess so. I don't know.
I feel like he is this unruly kid. Like, he gets away with everything, and he's the kid that doesn't, like, if he shows up undressed at the party, his parents are just like, yeah, you know,
He's a free spirit.
He's a free spirit. What are you gonna do? Like, he's that kid.
Well, Teal'c, when he sees Jack sitting there in his dress suit, remarks that he seems to be more nervous now than he is before any battle. And Jackson says the imminent threat to Earth might persuade the senator, but O'Neill tells him that maybe keep the parallel Earth talk to a minimum.
Like, Daniel, don't start up any, no.
And then the senator waltzes in late, greets them all very coldly.
But he apologizes for being late.
Yeah, but the way he does so is kind of disrespectful.
Is it?
It was like, I have more important stuff to do, that kind of vibe.
Huh.
Anyway, this is Ronnie Cox, will be a returning character also. He was Dick Jones in the original RoboCop movie.
You keep telling me things.
Like, he's the bad guy. He's the bad guy in the movie. Anyway. So yeah, he sees the Stargate through the window and he says like, oh, this is the drain through which all the money flows.
He has awesome lines in this. He has so many awesome lines.
He's that guy you love to hate. He's very well drawn.
Drawn?
The character's very well drawn.
Okay, I like that. I didn't hate him. Like, there was only one point that he mentioned that I was like, no, you lost me there, dude. But he makes some solid points. Like, coming as an outsider into this program, he's doing his job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's
true.
asking the hard questions.
Maybe I'm coloring it a little bit with what is coming.
Going to be?
Yeah, what's going to be, because he's gonna be a real antagonist. Here, you are absolutely correct. He's doing his job, and he has a lot of good points. So he sits down and, as a true politician, starts by praising the military and tells them he hates secrecy, which I found very funny because there's some foreshadowing in this. He will be part of a even more secret organization in the future. So
yeah, okay, but you can't just...
No, I know. But it's always those type of senators that we want transparency, and then they want to keep all the secrets because, yeah, everybody.
No, they want transparency. They want it.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. But he finds the very idea of this base offensive, and he found several reports where the Earth was in a lot of danger and he only got through by the skin of their teeth and came out of it with nothing to show for it. So, actually, very good point. There's a few episodes where they actually endanger the Earth. So yeah, he does have a point. And so he's there because the president asked him come over and keep an open mind. O'Neill accuses Samuels of poisoning the senator's mind already, but of course Samuels refutes this.
Samuels is a douchebag.
He is.
Also, what happened to his hair?
No idea. Maybe it comes with the new position. Carter tells them they learned a lot more about astrophysics in months than they did in all of the years before. But the senator compares the Stargate to Pandora's box and he wants to close it. O'Neill argues that it's already too late to close the box because the Goa'uld already know that they're the enemy, and at this point the senator spits out a number, $7,470,000 per year.
That's not a real number.
Which is the operating costs for the program. O'Neill gets angry at this. He tells them the enemy is at the gate, and he points like the one right outside this
And they
window.
are at the gate. It's that one, which is also a very cool line.
And he accuses the senator of already having made his mind up. But Kinsey orders him to sit down again. He will get a fair hearing, so they will go through the mission briefings. So they take all their confidential reports out of their briefcases, and O'Neill goes like, I'd like a copy of that. And they're like, you wrote this.
Yeah, but you want to make sure that
Yeah.
there wasn't any tampering with it.
He has a good point. Like the thing, the fact that he supposedly wrote it is actually a weak defense. But yeah. So Kinsey starts reading from it, and he starts talking about the rescue mission to get Daniel Jackson. And O'Neill immediately corrects Kinsey on the pronunciation of the Goa'uld. And it was also at this point when he literally spells it out that I noticed, like, oh, I've been writing it wrong.
You mean your spell check didn't warn you about the proper?
Goa'uld?
Yeah,
no,
that's
the
rude.
apostrophe was all over the place.
That is so rude. I mean, that's...
So yeah, at this point we get our first flashback, and it is to the pilot episode, Children of the Gods.
Okay, are we gonna go through all the flashbacks?
No. I'm just gonna recap the episode, and I'm gonna tell them what, in broad strokes, what we saw. So this was a scene where Teal'c switches sides and they fight their way out of it. It's obviously tightened in the edit. It's not a complete scene. And then at the end of it, Kinsey remarks that it took only one man changing sides to swing the tide in this battle. So
Yeah.
he keeps telling throughout the episode that he doesn't believe that the Goa'uld were a threat, even when
Yeah,
Carter
he
argues that
thinks-
it wasn't that easy as he makes it sound. So we get another flashback to the escape scene to the gate from the same episode with the gliders attacking them, which gives us another chance to reuse that shot
That
of
was
the
an
explosion.
expensive shot, okay? I mean, come on.
I bet. But Kinsey still thinks that they were easily defeated. But Carter argues, and she has a very good point, they never had to fight humans with their level of technology. So at this point, they know that the humans of Earth are dangerous. At this point, the gate activates, and Kinsey gets very nervous because he thinks it might be an attack. And he asks what's happening, but it's only just SG-2 returning from a mission. O'Neill tells him that the Goa'uld are very dangerous. They even got killed by them once. And we get a recap from the Nox where the Goa'uld kill SG-1. At the end of it, Carter goes like, they have the ability to create shields, and it is very possible that they can do this on a bigger scale, like for a ship. So Kinsey asks if they ever saw those ships, at which point O'Neill says yes, and we get a clip from the movie this time.
Because it had a very cool ship in there.
It had the ship landing on top of the pyramid, so we see that, and then we see some shots from the episode Singularity. That's the one where they meet Cassandra, and there's some shots with motherships and gliders in there too. Every chance they get to recap an action scene, we get it.
Yeah. Everything with explosions and gliders and ships, we're getting that in there.
Every expensive shot is pushed in there. Again, Kinsey argues that they were able to escape, and in this case, on foot no less. But Carter says we have seen them destroy entire civilizations. And at this point, we get a flashback to Cold Lazarus, the one with the blue crystals, and where Carter talks to the miniature version of her face. And then they do a little re-edit of the whole episode. And at the end, Kinsey wants to know, and he asks Teal'c, why did you switch sides if the Goa'uld are so powerful?
I laughed now.
And he tells Kinsey that what is right cannot be measured by strength.
He does say that, but he also talks about how where he is right now, that Earth values freedom. And I had this moment of thinking, who oversold the US to Teal'c? Like, who did this?
It is so 90s.
It is
It's
very 90s. He's like, you value your freedom. Like, Teal'c, did you step outside of this base at any point?
I think he only visited some homes, like once or twice.
Yeah.
But he didn't really go into the public. Maybe the park with Cassandra.
He's
but
very... I can understand it, but sometimes there's just things that get said that I'm like, is it though? Is it really?
Yeah, but he also wants that freedom that Earth values. And Kinsey tells him that is your problem, not theirs. Teal'c tells him that it will be his problem soon too. But the senator only cares about America, and he specifically mentions that he's actually the other planets conquered by the world are none of his business. So yeah, we're starting to see those conservative layers getting peeled, because there is a point where he specifically talks about the U.S. only. Even the rest of the planet can just make sure that they do their own thing. Then Samuels brings up the second episode where Kowalski gets infected by a Goa'uld parasite, and Kinsey adds that when that happened, it almost destroyed the entire facility.
I do like Jack's sad moments when we come out of that flashback. Like, you can see on his face that he really regrets how it happened and he misses Kowalski. And that's just one look.
Yeah, we flash back to specifically the fight in The Enemy Within, where Teal'c kills Kowalski, and then the moment we return to O'Neill, it's really and then Samuels brings up the episode where they bring back the contagious disease, so that's the Broca Divide, and we get a flashback from that where Jack comes to and talks to the doctor.
Again, heavy makeup shots. Basically everything that has heavy makeup or cool things they put back in there.
Here O'Neill calls it saving an entire race of people, and he says that's a win. Kinsey also says there's a lot of ifs here. And then he tells O'Neill that he almost died on another mission. Then we get a recap of Brief Candle, where he gets older. Then, and this is actually pretty cool, we get a brief follow-up on this. So they, at the end, when we come back from the flashback, we get an explanation. They say that we destroyed all the nanites. SG2 went back to contact them, and they're having a thriving civilization. They have long and productive lives at the moment. But Kinsey tells them they are reckless children playing with fire. Carter argues their mission is to bring back technology, not at this price or this level of competence. Kinsey answers...
That was a cool quote.
Yeah.
Because they didn't bring any technology back at this point. Daniel brought back a dildo last time, though. I mean...
Yeah.
He didn't get to tag it yet because, like, they went straight into this. But it's in his bag waiting for him.
We haven't seen a lot of stuff they brought back. They only brought back diseases and stuff. And then Hammond says they're doing their best. And I was like, oh, Hammond.
Yeah, Hammond is such a dad. He's like, hey, now, those are my kids, okay? And I know that one should have dressed up, but... Such a dad.
And then Kinsey answers their best is not good enough. He's shutting down the program, and nothing he has heard today will persuade him.
And Daniel tries to convince him, and I noticed, well, Daniel does this a lot. Whenever Daniel is trying to convince someone and it's not working right away, he starts shouting. It's a very American thing of him to do. Like, if I just raise my voice and talk to you like this, surely I will now convince you. Like, no, Daniel, no.
He is one of those characters that if when he believes he's right, he just can't.
He believes very strongly.
He doesn't understand how to convince people in another way than just I am right.
Yeah, he's like, but look at this. This is like he just goes. Poof.
So yeah, he's telling them then that the ships are on their way. And Kinsey, of course, wants to know where he learned this information. So
and
Jackson...
you can just go people in the background going like, oh no.
Yeah, he gives a brief recap of the previous episode where he got the warning, the whole spiel of the parallel Earth and everything. So Kinsey just goes like, I've heard enough of this.
Yeah.
I don't suffer any fools.
To be fair, though. To be fair.
And then, as you said, Jackson yells that they set actions in motions year ago when they started out. At which point Kinsey wants to know then why did the Goa'uld wait this long? And Teal'c just answers, travel here takes time.
Well, it also takes time because they're a feudal system to collect that level of army.
That and just the fact that if they want to go there, if they want to come by ship, it'll take time.
Yeah.
Because we're far away from the rest of the gate system.
And I wrote down that I kind of liked the senator up until this point. because he makes solid points. He comes into a program and he's doing his job, and they're not doing what the program is intended to do. They're only upping the danger level for the entire planet.
And costing a lot of money.
But then he starts talking about there is only one God, sir. I'm like, yeah, now you lost me. Like, that has no room in politics.
Yeah.
Also, stop shouting at Teal'c. What are you doing?
He goes like, he doesn't want to hear it, so the USA will be ready. So this is the second time he specifically only mentions the USA, which I find, yeah, it's very telling. Teal'c says they have angered the gods, and Kinsey retorts there is only one God, and he will not let this come to pass. Like, we're talking about a lot of ifs there, buddy.
Also, even if you believe in that God lets a lot pass. Like,
Yeah. His great idea, or Kinsey's at least, is to bury the gate, and when the gold arrive, they will pinky promise not to use it again. Great
What?
idea! That's basically what he tells
Oh
them.
my
Like,
gosh.
we'll bury the gate, and we'll tell them that we buried the gate when they get here, and they have nothing to fear, and they will just go away.
Like, oh yeah, we came all this
sure.
way. We're just gonna turn back. Like,
That's his idea.
and then Teal'c, he's so sad.
Yeah, he asks if he can return home before the gate is closed. Because if they will not continue to fight the gold, then he doesn't belong there anymore.
And Jack goes, I'll go with him. And I thought that was such a nice moment. And I wonder if people wrote fanfic about that. Like, just Teal'c and Jack going off into the gates and going solo,
On
basically.
adventures, yeah. But Hammond cannot allow that, and they will keep the light on until all the last teams have returned and then close down.
Which is weird. I mean, Hammond has bent the rules before. I feel it's weird that he's not attempting to get Teal'c off planets.
I think he means he cannot let Jack go. He
Yeah.
doesn't have any say over Teal'c.
No, but he literally says, I can't dial out anymore. I'm only allowed to let people come back in. I don't know. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
and they have used I know, I get it. They want this big dramatic moment where the four of them stand at the window, gaze out longingly at the gate, and then it comes to be continued. You know, back in the day when to be continued actually meant something, and not like, crap, I'm just gonna grab a bathroom break real quick, and then we'll press play again.
Yeah. Back in the day when there was to be continued, if you're lucky, that meant next week, and if if it was the last one, that meant next year. Maybe if it got renewed.
And if football got in the way, then it just meant you never would figure it out, ever.
So yeah,
Nowadays, people complain on Netflix like, no, they stopped it here. How dare you, Netflix? You can just press play. Mm-hmm. What are you just press play.
so yeah, that's the end of the episode. That's it.
I wonder what happens next episode. I'm sure the Goa'uld are gonna get there, wave out of the window, turn back and fly away, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, that's gonna be
a very short one,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So what happens in all the other seasons?
Well, you laugh at this, but like I told you, the cliffhanger for the season 1 of Universe ends with everybody having guns pointed at them, and the season 2 starts, and literally the first minute somebody comes in and is like, guys, put it down, and they put down their guns.
To be fair, Stargate Atlantis, every cliffhanger on the end of every season of Stargate Atlantis is McCay, like, spewing doom and despair, and then he fixes it in 3 minutes.
If you have a McKay, you need to have him spew doom and despair. That's his function.
I know, but it gets just so...
The only thing that shuts him up is Lemon.
I know, you have to just... And then he just runs away screaming because he's very allergic! Don't you know? I love that guy so much.
I'm really looking forward to seeing him again, because I know he shows up in SG1 before he doesn't...
I remember him showing up in SG1, but I re-saw those episodes after I watched Atlantis. I'm like, oh no, he's a jerk!
Yeah, he very much was a jerk in SG1.
Well, in Stargate Atlantis, he's still a jerk, but he's like a jerk because he's awkward and unsure, and he uses it as a shield.
But you get
And
the
he
time.
mellows out.
You get the time to go into that.
Yeah.
He has only brief cameos in SG1, so you only get to see what he's doing there at that point. You don't get any look into his private life, which you do get in Atlantis.
Yeah,
so
and
that
people, if you only see them at their job too, that's vastly different than...
he does do problematic stuff. He is a little
I mean,
bit.
they
He is
all do
he is
problematic
a little
stuff.
bit of a jerk, but he, like you said, he mellows out. Yeah.
I mean, they all do.
Yeah.
Like, they're all characters. None of them are... Like, that would be boring.
Yeah, we have a grave robber in SG1, so...
We do. Like, Daniel, just put the dildo
yeah, overall thoughts on the clip show episode.
I felt my attention wavering a lot, but that's because we just saw all of them. I think if you spend a year watching this, it's more fun. And it also gives you because when you watch a show week after week after week, you're always gonna miss one. There's always gonna be a moment when your parents are like, okay, we have to go somewhere. You're like, no, wait, and then you miss it. Or you just, something happens to your TV, like in my days, I'm old, when a big storm happened, everything could just shut down.
True, yeah.
Like, and in a clip show, you could be like, I missed something. And then you have to like dig out what you missed and try and get to see that one. So I think clip episodes worked really well at the time that they were used in.
I do think that the story they used to get all these clips to make it a whole, it works.
Yeah, it
Senator
works.
Kinsey is a really good antagonist. He makes a lot of good points, by the way, in this one. He will get more evil down the line, but here he's actually a really cool character. And so the clips work. Context, there is context for all these clips. But yeah, like you said, the moment where we go into them, you've seen most of the things. A lot of it is action, not character based. So I did also feel myself wondering a little bit.
But like, that's your selling point though, as that TV show, the action. If people come in this late in the season, you want them to be like, oh, this is a cool show. If it comes
look at
back
all
on,
the action.
I might look at it.
It works on a lot of levels. Just as what it is, it works.
This was before YouTube. Nowadays, if you wanna, like, I need a recap of this season. Just pick a YouTube video. There's so many recaps. They didn't have all of that.
No, true. Yeah, exactly. There was nothing when this aired. I should check when the internet came out, but
I mean, it's not that old.
no, true. But YouTube definitely wasn't the thing back then.
No.
So yeah, if you wanted to know something, blogs,
even AO3,
forums,
like Archive of Our Own, that was 1999, and this is 1997.
low res photos.
Oh gosh, cosplaying was so hard back in the day.
I once saw a photo, and this was really impressive. That this was a young girl in 1977, and she had cosplayed in an X-Wing pilot. Back then, home video did not exist.
It meant you had to go to the movies.
She went to the theater multiple times, drew the costume by looking at the screen, and then made that at home.
Yeah.
Without any other reference than the drawing she made and the notes she made in a dark theater.
Yeah.
That was so impressive.
Yeah. You're impressed.
I was impressed.
Well,
yeah.
as well you should. Okay, well, let's see what the next one brings.
Yep. Within the Serpent's Grasp, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. These titles are hit and miss.
They're
very hit and miss.
They're so television titles.
They're very
Within
much
the
like, we need a
Serpent's
title.
Grasp.
Do we really? Yes, you need a title. Because in the program, you remember like these little
Yeah.
program books? You needed a title in the program book. And nowadays, when you just go, I keep saying Netflix,
if you
like,
go to
see, episode
yeah.
1, episode 2, episode 3, there's no titles anymore. But
Yeah,
you used
episode
to need,
1, episode 1. Like, yes, thank you.
like, some still have titles, and they're very good titles. But now, if they have titles, they're well thought out. Now, back in the day, everything needed a title. So sometimes you were like, oh, I don't even.
And
politics.
you didn't need 8. You needed 21.
Yeah, and they couldn't repeat, so they're probably gonna get worse. I'm guessing.
We'll see. I don't remember all of the titles, but yeah, that's actually a very good point. Like, you needed something to put in the programs, the TV programs. So yeah, kids, back in the day, we picked up these little booklets in the stores. They had like very cheap interviews, a lot of ads, and a TV program with every day of the week.
Yeah, you couldn't just go on the TV and find the program.
And we would take a pen and circle the stuff we wanted to see so we didn't forget.
And then it wouldn't matter anyway because your parents rolled the TV remotes. Because the living room was not for living, not if you were a kid. No, the living room was not for you.
That was for the parents.
That was for...
Yeah. We should tell that to our kid. Like,
No,
this
but
is our room.
No, but that is actually a very real phenomenon that a lot of parents our age are running into. We were bedroom kids. We were supposed to stay in the bedroom because we were kids. We didn't live there. We just belonged to the house. But that's not. No, we were accessories.
I know. You're
But
right.
our kids, they plonk themselves in the middle of the living room and they live in the living room. And we go and stand there and be like, what?
Get out of my living
No,
room.
excuse me, we can't, she tells us to get out of the living room. No, but they are living in the living room. And we're like, you want to do this? But, that's just because we weren't allowed. This got sad.
Not necessarily.
No,
but yeah, next week will be the last episode of season 1. Looking forward to that.
I just want to remind you that you said, I don't think we're going to make it through the season.
I did? Did I say that?
Yeah, you did say that.
Well, I was
You said,
wrong.
I wonder how long your retention is going to keep up, is what you literally told
Well, we
me.
still have one to do.
I know, and your wife has ADHD, so it's a valid point.
And I will be out of the house for 2 weeks. So,
I'm going to starve.
I know.
I'm going to...
And your attention is going to wane, and you're going to forget we're doing this podcast by the time I get back.
Is this why you let the setup just sit in this room?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's
this,
good.
This whole setup just stays. These are seats from downstairs. We can't sit 8 people at our table anymore.
Yes, because we're so social that we invite 8 people to our house all the time. That's the thing that we do.
We might someday. You never know.
The most we ever have is 6 in the studio.
True.
These seats are mostly used by our cats who come here and hang out.
And meow into the microphones.
Do they?
No, I don't know. That would
We
be
should
so
wrap
funny.
this up. We're
yeah,
just-
we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
We'll see everybody again next week for the final episode of the first season. And then I guess we'll maybe do an overview or an overall opinion thing on the season.
We'll see how we feel.
Yeah, exactly. So that's up for next week. See you then. Bye.